Have you ever made a decision that completely blew up in your face? Or perhaps a random snap decision that somehow worked out perfectly? What if I told you that success and failure aren't always based on how good your choices are? Life, as Annie Duke explains in Thinking in Bets, isn't like chess. It is more like poker, full of hidden information and randomness. We often make the mistake of judging a decision purely by its result. Duke calls this resulting. Remember the infamous Seattle Seahawks Super Bowl play? They passed instead of running the ball, and it ended in disaster. Everyone called it one of the worst play calls ever, but statistically, it wasn't a terrible decision. It had a high probability of success based on what they knew at the time. Duke argues that a decision's outcome doesn't always reflect its quality. So how can we improve our decision-making in a world where outcomes are often out of our control? It starts with adopting a thinking in bets mindset. Imagine you are at the poker table. You gather information, assess the odds, and make your move. Sometimes, even with the best strategy, you lose. But the loss doesn't mean your choice was wrong, just that luck played a role. The real question is whether you made the best call given the available information. Our brains, however, are not wired for this kind of probabilistic thinking. We crave certainty and often cling to simplistic cause and effect stories. We also have two minds battling for control. The reflexive mind is emotional and instinctive, while the deliberative mind is analytical and logical. Poker is the perfect training ground for balancing these two minds, forcing players to act quickly while staying strategic under pressure. One of Duke's key strategies for improving decisions is the truth-seeking buddy system. Find a group of trusted individuals who are committed to helping you improve, not just telling you what you want to hear, but it only works if everyone agrees to prioritize truth over ego. This requires creating a safe environment where feedback, even tough conversations, is welcome. Set expectations early so the group holds each other accountable to stay objective. When evaluating past decisions, avoid hindsight bias. This sneaky mental trap makes us believe outcomes were more predictable than they really were. We often look back and think, I should have seen that coming, but in reality, we did not have all the information at the time. Duke recommends a technique called outcome blindness. Have your advisors review your decision without revealing the result. This helps them focus on the reasoning and information you had in the moment. Another powerful tool Duke offers is the 10-10-10 method. When faced with a tough decision, ask yourself how you will feel about this in 10 minutes, in 10 months, and in 10 years. This helps shift your perspective, encouraging long-term thinking rather than impulsive reactions. Duke also introduces premortems and backcasting. A premortem involves imagining everything that could go wrong before you even start. This is not about being negative, it is about spotting risks early so you can prepare backup plans. On the flip side, backcasting is where you imagine achieving your goal and then work backward to identify the critical steps and challenges you overcame to get there. For example, if your goal is to write a book, you visualize holding your published novel. Then you map out the key milestones such as writing, editing, and finding a publisher, along with the obstacles you overcame along the way. But there is more to decision-making than just planning. Duke warns against ticker watching. Like obsessing over every small dip in the stock market, we often fixate on short-term setbacks in our lives. This mindset can lead to rash, emotional decisions. Instead, focus on long-term trends. One way to prevent impulsive choices is by using Ulysses contracts. Just like Ulysses tied himself to his ship's mast to avoid the temptation of the sirens, you can pre-commit to certain actions. For example, set a budget to prevent overspending or commit to waking up without snoozing your alarm. Duke even suggests a fun twist. Create a decision swear jar. Identify phrases you use that indicate bad mental habits like, I'm 100% sure or this is the only way. Each time you catch yourself saying these, put money in the jar. It is a playful way to become more self-aware and break out of rigid thinking patterns. You can even involve others in this, making your self-improvement journey more collaborative and fun. Duke also highlights how scenario planning, often used in business, can transform personal decision-making. If you are facing a major choice, such as buying a house or changing careers, think like a CEO conducting a risk assessment. Ask yourself what could go wrong and what opportunities could arise. This strategic mindset helps you avoid potential pitfalls and seize opportunities. Before we move on to the final key insight, remember to subscribe for more content like this. Lastly, Duke emphasizes the importance of self-compassion. We are often our harshest critics, beating ourselves up for decisions that did not pan out. But remember, you were doing your best with the information you had at the time. Recognizing hindsight bias helps you be kinder to yourself. Each decision is a learning opportunity. Focus on improvement, not perfection. Before you click on our next video, think about this. What decision are you currently wrestling with that you could reframe as a bet? How might that shift your perspective and help you make a more thoughtful choice?